Now let me show you this again, and you tell me if you notice anything. Watch.
Why am I against corporation? Because they don't pay me money. $7 an hour?
Go get a job.
I got a job, Mo. I do have a job. You're a bum, Jew. Man, I'm a Jew. Why are you fighting with us? You got the money. That's why you're fighting, Jewish man.
You noticing anything here?
I work, God bless. My father worked 40 years and we have a foreclosed house. My mother's dead because she had a hard time from stress.
Now let me play another clip for you and tell me if you notice anything. This is from the Tea Party. Watch this. Very similar clip.
Your swastika-ridden shirt should leave. Would you please leave? It's not an Obama shirt. If you look, that's Ronald Reagan, sir. And it's not a swastika, which is not welcome at the Tea Party, sir. Are you a racist? Are you a Nazi?
Yes, I'm proud to be a racist.
Why don't you leave? Because we're not.
I'm not a Nazi. I'm a proud racist. I'm white.
You have.
Okay.
He's here representing.
Stop. Now you notice that there's a sign being held up behind him that says "Communist Infiltrator." We're not with stupid. And you have somebody with a video camera that is saying, "Get out of here. You're not with us." People were engaged. I mean, I saw it on 828. Somebody came in, started saying racist things. They were African American. They started saying racist things. And the people surrounded them and just kept saying, "We're going to pray for you. We're going to pray for you." Nobody listened to it. Nobody just stood around. How do you explain the rest of the crowd standing around this guy as he was berating this Jewish man? They're just standing there. What does it say about them? There they are, listening to the bigotry and not coming to this man's defense. Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. When, on the flip side, an infiltrator came to the Tea Party, the crowd didn't let it just happen. They rebuked him. Which crowd would you rather be a part of? Out of 301 Tea Parties, this is Tea Party Express, out of 301, how many police encounters were there? 19 days of Occupy Wall Street, and there have been nearly 1,000 arrests. America, you have a choice. It's good and evil. It has always existed. It's always been warring with each other, but things are beginning to escalate, and there's no sitting this one out. Participation is mandatory. Whether it's now or later, you're going to have to choose sides. So which side is it going to be? Is it going to be good or evil? Is it going to be love or hatred? Is it going to be life or death? It seems to me like an obvious choice, but it's not for a lot of people. And I think it's because darkness can appear to be a very attractive choice, especially when you've got all the money in the world to dress it up. Wide is the path to destruction, but narrow is the path to life. So I think what we have to do here is we have to ask ourselves, who am I? Who are we? Are we these people? Is this who we are? Or will we be these people? Which is it? You can only decide when you've answered those questions. Who am I? Who are we? What is it that you really believe? There's a lot of things that we don't believe in anymore. I mean, what do you trust? I asked you last night, what do you trust? Do you trust anything anymore? Government, 81% of Americans no longer trust the government. 81%. That's up 40% from 2003. Americans sense that the federal government poses an immediate threat to individuals and their rights and their freedoms is also at a new all-time high. Americans' confidence in the people who run and serve for office also at a new low. 85% of people, 85% don't believe in Congress anymore. 75% say, no, I don't trust the media. 66% of Americans surveyed say news stories are often inaccurate, and 77% say they're slanted. They favor one side. The truth lives here. Big business. How many of us trust big business? It's about 80%. 81%, I'm sorry, do not trust big business. That's pretty remarkable, isn't it? Banks, 80% of us no longer trust our bank. 80%. Organized religion, 80% of Americans no longer trust. That's pretty remarkable. Organized labor, we don't trust them. None of them. That's less than banks. But that's not stopping the unions from being welcomed with open arms. Fewer people trust the unions than trust the banks, and yet all of these unions are starting now to show up. You have the Transit Union, the Transport Workers Union, Local 100, the United Federation of Teachers. They're taking the day off, and they're already joining in. We already told you about the AFL-CIO and SEIU getting involved, handing out food now as if it were a war zone. It's New York City, man. There's a deli like every 10 feet. Which side are you going to choose? Which side are you going to choose? And who do you trust? Who are you being shepherded by? These guys, they don't trust the government. They don't trust the politicians. They don't trust Congress. They don't trust the media. They don't trust big business or the banks. They don't trust religion. Well, you have all that in common. But yet, they're being used by the unions, by the politicians, by big government, by big business, by banks. What do you think the Fed is? What do you think the Fed is? Let me show you one more video here. One more video. It's what a union leader and former SEIU official, Stephen Lerner, said on September 22nd. This video was released today exclusively on The Blaze. More of it is available on The Blaze, but let me give you just a little bit of it.
How do we do the same thing and start to create a crisis? The next stage of the campaign is how do we make a crisis for them? How do we make it so that every morning when they wake up they say, this is terrible? How do we make it that people don't want to go to their fundraisers because we're always there and they don't even associate with them? How do we make it that the kids look at them and say, Daddy, are we really that bad? The key thing about that demonstration was it wasn't just about us getting arrested. It wasn't just about us having a protest. We brought Washington to a screaming halt. We actually did it 3 more times. And we brought that again and again. And if you look over the history, the entire city ended up being union. And it's because we took the richest and most powerful people, we took the fight to them, we made them so uncomfortable. We created a crisis for them. So they said, well, maybe there's a better way. And we said, yeah, let's negotiate.
Okay, so here's the thing, and he goes on to, they cheered being economic terrorists. He's saying, let's have kids question their parents. We've got to create a crisis. This is new, by the way. This isn't the last 2 times that we've shown you. This is now, I think this was in Seattle. We have to cause chaos. We have to shut cities down. We have to shut business down. Does that sound like the narrow or the wide path to you? There is good and evil. And now we're at a point where we have to look at everything with that in mind, and then we have to make a choice. Which are you? Which are you? Who am I? Who are we? And who do I trust?
GBTV. The truth lives here.